Welcome back. Aurelius and Malik, the Treaty Archive. We close the Treaty of Kadesh file today. 5 parts. The end of the story. A silver tablet, inscribed 3,000 years ago, still echoes through the halls of diplomacy. The Treaty of Kadesh was the first of its kind. Signed in 1259 before the Common Era, it ended decades of bloodshed between Egypt and the Hittite Empire. This was no mere agreement. It was a groundbreaking moment for international relations.
But was it really a decisive moment, Aurelius? Sure, it wasn't just the end of fighting. It opened up a whole new way of thinking about how nations relate to each other. The treaty had clauses about mutual recognition and equality. But let's be real, it came from the exhaustion of war. It was born out of necessity, not some grand vision. People were tired, worn out. They needed a way to move forward, to find peace for their families.
The immediate impact was clear to anyone observing the landscape. Trade routes sprang back to life, facilitating not just the exchange of goods, but also a vibrant flow of ideas and cultures. For a generation, the Near East enjoyed an unusual period of calm, a welcome relief from previous turmoil. Yet, we must remember that the treaty also forged a mutual defense pact. This was a strategic move, a necessary response to counter the growing Assyrian threat looming on the horizon.
That's true, but we can't ignore the human cost of that so-called calm. The people of the Levant have lived through decades of war, suffering losses that can't just be brushed aside. They're not just footnotes in the grand story of treaties and alliances. Sure, the treaty might have brought peace on paper. But what about the families torn apart and the lives forever changed? What about their hopes and dreams that were left hanging in the balance?
You're right. The human element is crucial in all this. The treaty's structure set new standards, mutual recognition, equal standing, and binding commitments. These principles changed the landscape of international diplomacy. The silver tablets symbolize that change, representing parity between once bitter foes. They remind us that even the deepest divides can be bridged. It's a testament to what we can achieve when we choose dialogue over conflict. History shows us that peace is often just as complex as war.
But how much of that was genuine? When the gods were invoked in the treaty, it felt more like political theater than a true expression of faith. Sure, swearing oaths before deities carries weight, but it also highlights just how tangled politics and religion were back then. The real question we should be asking is whether those promises meant anything to the people who relied on them. Did anyone actually feel the impact of those commitments in their daily lives?
The treaty's legacy is truly complex. It rippled through history, influencing future agreements in ways we still see today. From the Peace of Westphalia to modern international law, Kadesh's principles resonate deeply. The silver tablet became an archetype, illustrating that even fierce enemies could find some common ground. It's a lesson that's echoed in countless negotiations since. We often forget that diplomacy can emerge from conflict, shaping not just nations, but also our shared understanding of peace.
Yet, that legacy is a double-edged sword. Sure, it laid the groundwork for diplomacy, which helped many nations avoid conflict. But it also serves as a stark reminder of how fragile peace can be. Over time, old alliances fractured under the weight of new ambitions. The rise of the Assyrian Empire shows us that even the strongest treaties can buckle and break. Behind every shift in power, there are real people affected, lives disrupted, communities torn apart. It's a heavy cost.
That's a valid point. The treaty was not immortal. It didn't banish conflict forever. It merely showed us that reconciliation is possible, even amid deep divisions. The choice to negotiate can change the course of nations. We've seen it time and again in history. While the outcomes may not last, the act of coming together, of finding common ground, is what can shift the balance. It reminds us that there's always a chance to reshape our futures, even if only temporarily.
And yet, the memory of Kadesh lives on, woven into the fabric of our shared history. It's immortalized in temple reliefs and clay tablets, capturing the stories of those who fought and suffered. Even today, a replica stands at the UN, a powerful reminder of the importance of dialogue and understanding. But we have to ask ourselves, do we truly learn from these lessons of history? Or do we let them fade into the background, forgotten like so many voices?
As the shadows of ancient empires fade, their choices resonate still in the corridors of time. The Treaty of Kadesh was hardly a perfect solution, this much is clear. It was a breakthrough, a moment when the logic of peace triumphed over the instinct for war. Yet, it serves as a reminder that the choice for dialogue must be embraced continually, lest we fall back into the same old patterns of conflict. History has shown us that the cost of silence can be far too high.
And what kind of world do we want to build? That question just hangs there, doesn't it? It echoes through the ages, reminding us of our shared responsibility. The answer isn't simple. It lies in our willingness to pay the price for peace, whether we're looking back at ancient conflicts or facing challenges today. We have to dive into history, learn from the struggles of those who came before us, and really strive for a better future for everyone.
The legacy of Kadesh endures, not just as a historical document, but as a powerful symbol. It reminds us that leaders understood the transformative power of dialogue in their time. The hope for peace is an ember we must stoke, keeping it alive. History shows us that even the fiercest rivals can find common ground if they're willing to engage. It's a lesson for us today, as we navigate our own conflicts and strive for understanding.
And that closes the Treaty of Kadesh file. 5 parts. 1 complete story. The full series lives on the Treaty Archive, part of the Archive Network. There's no shortage of files. Browse what pulls at you next.